aLive chose Zerg. He is not a Zerg player, so we're going to remake. Little up.
aLive is probably better at Zerg than me.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably better at Zerg.
I'm pretty sure every single pro gamer is better than like everybody. Most of the people, like most pro gamers.
I've beaten a lot of pros that were off racing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you beat MC's off race?
No, MC's off race is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I have played against it, and it is freaking good.
It's scary. I've actually... Never mind.
MC's Zerg is so ridiculous. Of course, this is kind of common knowledge. But it was... who was practicing with MC in preparation for the GSL? Oh, I don't know. But somebody was playing against Marine King.
Mm.
That can't make sense because Marine King does not play Zerg.
Okay, go on.
Anyway, somebody practiced against MC's Zerg. Said MC was better than any other Zerg at the matchup, ZVT. So...
So sick.
I mean, it was a really good story, but I just told it wrong.
You know, Flashers J-Dong, actually, they used to practice off-race, and I remember seeing this, like, Flashers J-Dong, I remember, like, what was it? And Bisu did that, too. And there was a time where Bisu actually off-raced for one of the, like...
OSL?
Not the TL attacks. No. Like, what are the Korean TL attacks called?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to the TL attack where they get him on and then...
play against fans
like
and stuff.
Fans, but this time he played against like a pro, and he was talking about how every single good pro gamer is good with all three races, at least to some skill level. And obviously, MC is evidence.
Back when I was playing full-time, I often practiced with Rhett, and when Rhett got tired of smashing me with his Zerg, he would play Protoss. And then he would smash me with his Protoss.
I'm so
and
sorry.
And we'd laugh together about how overpowered Protoss was.
Back when Force Shields were good, right?
No, they're still
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
They're still really good.
Dude, I'm having so much fun with Protoss.
aLive versus Crank is now rocking and rolling, guys. So this is TVP numero dos.
Top left-hand corner, we have aLive as the blue Terran. Bottom right, we have Crank as the red Protoss. Ohana is the map, one of our smaller maps, I would say, of the map pool that we have. And we will see a Nexus First coming out from Crank. What do you think about Nexus First?
I think it's really good, especially in this metagame where Terrans are going 1 racks fast expand almost every single game. And it looks like, honestly, aLive's going to do something like that here, as he's really not showing any inclination towards taking gas, even allowing this probe to get in. So yeah, I think that further...
I would actually say, like, overall, it's a little bit riskier to do it a lot to aLive. I've seen aLive actually do 2 racks quite a bit of times.
That's because he 2 racks every single game in the NASL all last season.
He did.
He did every single week. That's all he would do.
But in their defense, okay, they're in the Fnatic house. Rain actually showed me a video on his phone, and there was literally 2 to 3 second delay. It was crazy. So that's why he did that. But still, we have seen him do 2 racks. But he's not doing that here.
He is 1 racks fast expanding. So this will give a small advantage to Crank. Faster expo.
Yes, sir. And the delayed scout disallows him from actually reacting to this efficiently. What's going to happen is, yes, he sends down a Marine, but really this one probe is such a hero. So the probe is actually going to do just scouting, but it actually shows where the Marine is going. Is it going to follow, or is it going to go directly to his opponent's base?
Stay alive, little guy.
And what it should do is actually wrap around. You want to actually see if a huge string of SCVs are coming, because obviously Ohana is a map similar to Shigura's Plateau. You can put up 3 bunkers and then wall off completely, and then slowly all you have to do is put 1 more bunker up after that, and you are in range of that Nexus.
Not going to be happening in this game, though, Andre. It is just going to be macro on both sides. First Marine shows up just in time for the first Zealot, who's going to pop down and start wailing away at him.
Yep. And he's just going to back up from here. Live. Look at how cheeky he's being, man.
Oh, look, Billy's little brother just showed up.
He did. He's going to play Ring Around the Rosie.
Billy and Timmy. And I think Billy and Timmy together can take out that Zealot.
Yes, but the Zealot will slightly outrun it.
Yep. He says, peace out, boys. Dude, you know what this is? Who's the guy that played Apollo Creed?
Never heard of that game.
Carl Weathers? This is Arnold and Carl Weathers in The Predator. Oh, and they're going to win. Man, Great micro here from aLive, but a second Predator shows up.
And I don't...
Oh,
he's going to
Billy dies again.
Very nicely done. And 3 Marines should be able to clean this up.
Timmy dies
Marine.
too. Oh my god, Timmy got sliced in half.
What's up, Rotterdam?
So that was not Arnold Carl Weathers, because they would have won the fight. And now the Stalker even shows up, and all of a sudden aLive, who's been a little bit careless with these Marines, has got a pretty substantial problem. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, losing that many Marines actually empowers some sort of gateway follow-up directly after that. You can do like a 3-gate, 4-gate type of pressure. And since you lost so many Marines at the beginning, that's a lot of DPS. Think about it. It's like 5 Marines that you lose in that beginning stage for 2 Zealots. The Zealots don't really constitute that much. Yes, they're good tanking. But in this position, if I were aLive, I would be so scared of some sort of continued aggression. We don't even have bunkers going down. He's playing very bold. Man, I don't understand why he's not building bunkers. He does have 6 Marines. Okay, there's the bunker. He does have 6 Marines up at the top of that ramp, and that'll keep these Stalkers from doing anything like walking up there. And we're not going to see any crazy gateway follow-up. In fact, the Robo goes down for Crank. And he's even going to build some forges, or at least a forge.
For now, I think Crank has... Oh, wow, double... As you said, the double forge... I don't like this. I think it's better just to go to Colossus Tech, knowing that your opponent actually has to defend for some sort of gateway potential. A third Nexus... Excuse me, third command center is coming up, so that's going to even give... Oh my god, and double upgrades. This is so much evidence to say you should be going Colossus right now, Crank. Unfortunately, it doesn't have, you know, the full picture right now as we do, but if he did, he would be like, oh, Colossus, I'll win off the 2 base.
Have a pretty good... Oh, never mind, there's units at the top of the ramp. I thought that Crank had left. aLive's going to get up. He's going to see 2 sentries. He's going to see 2 Stalkers, and that is all that he's going to see. Observer of Crank. Ooh, will aLive see this blur?
No. He's going to run right past it, and now finally the factory going down. This is still good time. You can actually hit with a 1-1 timing if you want to, or maybe even 2-2 off of 2 base. And seeing that factory so delayed, knowing that you have your Robo up, just instantly put down that that additional
3 gateways.
3 gateways. No, robotics facility. Robotics bay, excuse me. And you can actually just win the game, just because you don't have the material to actually defend against any Colossus pressure. Instead, it looks like, oh, there it is, robotics bay, yay!
I don't think this is going to be for a push, though. I feel like
I don't think so either. Yeah. Crank could seriously win the game off of 2 base, though. Because it's, think about it, it's double upgrade and a command center.
Yeah, Terran's spending a lot of money on things that aren't, you know, fighting units, things that don't really give him any additional strength. But I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall here. Crank has put down all the infrastructure, and now he's going to drop the 3rd Nexus. So even putting down the Twilight Council, so we're in no way are we going to see any sort of aggression out of Crank. And why would we? He just played a very passive macro game on Cloud Kingdom and was able to beat a Terran with it. So we're going to see it again here on Ohana.
Let's look at the income tab really quickly, 59 to 51. Basically the same for both these players with mules. So nothing too crazy. I think you're absolutely right. We're going to see just the super slow standard game. Both these players are going to just develop their bases off of 3, and there's going to be a huge clash. Hopefully it's not going to be as silly as last game where it's just the huge clash, the game's over. You know, aLive is an IPL winner. So I wouldn't think that he does something like that.
Yeah, he is. aLive's army is looking pretty respectable. Where is his medevacs? They haven't even come out yet. His first 2 medevacs are in production. They're going to probably come join up with this army. He's got to be really careful not to get caught. Okay, there we go. He's not going to stay out on the map.
Think about how late those medevacs are, too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, once the medevacs actually pop out, what do you do with them? You can't pressure because you're 2 minutes late for that. They have the same amount of position to actually defend, but now more army.
More units,
more units, yeah. So, like, you can't catch your Protoss opponent really out of position that well. So, really, the timing for those medevacs and to do pressure is non-existent. Like, this should not exist. The range for Protoss is just way too big. There could be anything that he could be doing. He could still be doing a 2-base all-in, and you're actually dead right here.
Medevacs are going to load up and head to the main. aLive is not going to
theoretically, Crank should be able to deal with this really, really easily.
He split up his army in a strange way, though, and both these medevacs are going to completely unload. Only Zealots in the main base to deal with it. The second half of the army, though, with no medevacs, is just going to get squashed.
And there it is.
Force field donut.
That's basically GG. Like, you don't come back from that. You're just so far behind. That's a ton of your DPS that you're losing right there. aLive should have just sat back and waited. There's no reason to actually be pressing forward. There's no timing that you can hit.
It's really bizarre, too, because he was just seconds away from having +2. Like, literally, like 1 minute away from 2-2. Crank's not moving, though. He's still going to sit back. Using the Artosis mantra of win ahead, get more ahead. You can also get more ahead by attacking. That should be pointed out.
Yes. It's definitely a pretty substantial way to get ahead. But right now, I mean, still what you can get from that, if you're Crank, is that, okay, I'm stabilized like crazy. I can basically do whatever I want. I have momentum. My opponent should be responding very, very aggressively to my Colossus and a High Templar tech, which is Archon tech. But any High Templar tech would be so powerful because all of a sudden when you're on 6 gas, you really don't have the ability to change over that fast. So if you're not able to get Ghosts because you're getting so many Vikings out in the field and you have to get Marauders, well, they can't get Ghosts and empowers your High Templars, you're good to go.
aLive hits a supply block as he responds by building 7 depots at once. That will pretty much clear him up all the way to 200, so no more of those going to be slowing him down. 160 supply for our Terran player, 160 supply for our Protoss player. So these guys, at least on paper, at a fairly even stance right now. But again, look at the tech of Crank. He's got a lot of Colossi. He's got a lot of Archons. He's got a lot of Zealots. And is charge done? No, in fact. So once that's done, he's definitely going to be in a pretty decisive military advantage.
So what can Terran really do in this position? Because you have to make up, basically you need time, right? You need time for your gases to actually yield you stuff so you can get those Vikings out, then get the Ghosts out, then get the medevacs out, and then actually have an army to deal with the Protoss. How do you actually make time? Well, you can do that by harassing, but harassing only goes so far until it becomes inefficient. The better way, I think, in this position is to just plop down like 6 bunkers in this area. Put 6 bunkers down, and obviously it's very unattractive for any Protoss to actually commit to that. Because now your Vikings actually have like a little base, a staging point to actually go from. That will buy you time. The Protoss will obviously not want to do anything, and then from there you can actually play and try to play efficient battles.
Little 8 Marine drop in the back of the 3rd base. Does some damage, but is mostly chased away here by Zealot Warp in and a couple of Archons. Actually, that medevac might... Ooh, aLive, really playing with fire there.
Oh yeah.
Psionic fire. Lots of Vikings already on the field, Andre. 10 Vikings are out. There are a couple more in production, and the Ghost transition has begun. So aLive, I don't want to say that he's been buying himself time, but Crank has definitely granted it. And finally, Crank's going to move out, but this is...
But still, there are Ghosts on the way. Even that, it's really, really difficult to actually deal with this. That's why you need 1 more minute. Get 1 more minute and you're fine. That's why bunkers have been great. Now he's going to give up this beautiful position, and his 3rd base should die because of that.
Don't fight on a ramp, aLive.
Beautiful. Great force fields.
A couple more, and it's going to be...
And the 3rd base is dead. Like, there should be a couple force fields right here. There you go. Beautiful.
Oh, really nice EMPs, though, hitting all of the Archons. And actually, aLive chases Crank away, at least for the time being. aLive really playing with fire, dancing around these ramps. And Crank just doesn't want to commit to this. I guess not having charge is what's confusing Crank.
Yeah. And this would have been a little bit more powerful.
What the heck is happening? aLive is actually battering this back. Every Colossus is now dead. There's no charge. And force fields are working against Crank now. And aLive has a pretty good position. Archons aren't really able to fight either.
But it's still the power of the Archons at this point, and the power of the tanking units not being able to just be so liberal with your EMPs, and that's what it comes down to. Now look at this. All the Vikings died, all of the Ghosts died. Actually, not all of the Vikings, but now they're about to. And the fact of the matter is, Crank is using the same army that he used from before. He hasn't had to send in reinforcements, really. At least reinforcements don't require gas. And that actually enables Crank to still maintain the tempo of the game. He controls exactly what aLive does and how he actually builds stuff. So no matter what, even if aLive kills everything here, Crank is super far ahead, and you can even see that with the supplies.
Yeah, more Zealots coming in. I guess he just forgot charge, Andre, is what it boils down to. It still hasn't even started. But Zealots, even without charge, with Colossus support, are oh so good at killing things. A lot of FCVs dying. 51 SCVs in total have been killed, and it looks like Crank has enough to take out aLive here. Third base falls, 60 supply remaining for the Terran player. Crank up over 140. Nice gameplay here out of our Protoss.
And you know, aLive barely did it too. But think, it's the positioning. It's the, well, that's basically it. It's the positioning.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in that position where you're going down a ramp, your own ramp, to go engage against Colossus. That's terrible. Even Archons. Think if he had bunkers on that bottom ground, he can actually stage all of his attacks from there. And bunkers are free, man.
They are.
You can just salvage them.
They actually they accrue interest. You get more money back.
Yes, you get 1.03 per year. It's prime rate. It's not bad.
All right, guys, short break, and then we find out who plays Crank next. Stick around. The Gauntlet continues when we return.